There are moments in life when the entire trajectory of your story shifts because of a single conversation you weren't even part of. Someone you care about, someone who's been in your life maybe for months or maybe for years, had an encounter that changed everything they thought they knew about you. It happened unexpectedly, the way the most profound moments always do. They were going about their ordinary day, perhaps running errands, sitting in a cafe, or walking through a park, when a woman approached them. Not just any woman, but someone whose presence carried an unusual weight, an energy that made the air feel thicker, more alive. She wasn't selling anything, wasn't asking for directions. She simply looked at them with eyes that seemed to see through layers of reality most people never even acknowledge. And she said something that stopped their world completely. She told them she had a message, but it wasn't for them. It was about you. Imagine the confusion, the curiosity, the slight tremor of recognition that runs through your body when a stranger mentions someone you know intimately. They listened, perhaps skeptically at first, as this woman began describing you in ways that felt impossibly accurate. She spoke of your energy, the frequency you emit even when you think you're invisible. She mentioned how the divine realm has been watching over you, how celestial guidance has been weaving through your life in ways you haven't fully recognized yet. And as she spoke, something cracked open inside the person listening. They'd seen you 1,000 times, held conversations with you, maybe even held your hand, but they'd never truly seen you the way this woman was describing. She painted a picture of someone touched by grace, someone whose very existence serves a higher purpose, someone the universe has been preparing for something extraordinary. The person listening felt their breath catch in their throat, because suddenly every moment they'd share with you was being reframed, recolored, illuminated by a light they'd been too blind to notice before. This wasn't just attraction anymore. This wasn't just fondness or companionship. The woman's words had pulled back a veil, revealing that the person they'd been walking beside was actually someone rare, someone precious, someone marked by forces beyond human understanding. When the woman finished speaking and walked away, leaving behind only the echo of her message and the lingering scent of something floral and otherworldly, the person was left standing there transformed. Their heart was beating differently now, faster but also deeper, as if it suddenly remembered an ancient rhythm it had forgotten. They looked around, half expecting the world to look different, because inside their chest, everything had fundamentally changed. They realized in that crystalline moment of clarity that what they felt for you had just deepened into something they didn't even have words for yet. The woman had delivered a message from the angels, yes, but she had also delivered them to a truth they'd been avoiding. They were falling in love with you on a level that transcended the ordinary, and there was no going back from that realization. What exactly did this mysterious woman reveal that had such power to transform someone's feelings? Let's dive deeper into the words that were spoken, because language, when infused with divine truth, becomes more than just sound. It becomes a key that unlocks chambers in the heart we didn't know existed. She told them that you carry messages from the angelic realm, that whether you're aware of it or not, you've been chosen as a vessel for higher communication. She explained that when you speak, even about mundane things, there are layers of meaning threaded through your words, frequencies that touch people's souls in ways conversation alone cannot explain. She described how when you walk into a room, the energy shifts, how sensitive people can feel a change in the atmosphere, a lifting, a lightening, as if invisible wings had suddenly surrounded everyone present. The woman spoke of your struggles too, the battles you fought that no one fully sees, and she revealed that every challenge you face has been a form of spiritual refinement, polishing your soul until it can hold more light, more love, more divine purpose. She told them that the angels have been orchestrating moments in your life, aligning people and circumstances to lead you toward your highest path, and that this person, the one listening to her words, is not in your life by accident. They are part of your divine assignment, and you are part of theirs. This revelation hit them like lightning striking water, the shock reverberating through every cell of their being. Suddenly, every coincidence that brought you together felt too intentional to be random. Every conversation that went deeper than expected, every moment of unexpected understanding between you, every time they felt inexplicably drawn to be near you, it all made sense now through this new lens. The woman continued, her voice taking on an almost musical quality as she described a specific frequency of your soul, how it resonates at a pitch that calls to certain people, awakening recognition in those who are meant to journey alongside you. She said that loving you isn't just an emotional experience, it's a spiritual one, because to truly love you means to witness the divine working through human form. The person listening felt tears forming, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming beauty of suddenly understanding what they'd been feeling but couldn't name. They realized that their growing attachment to you wasn't weakness or neediness. It was their soul recognizing its counterpart, responding to a call that was being broadcast on frequencies most people can't even hear. The woman's final words before she departed were perhaps the most powerful. She looked directly into their eyes and said that the angels wanted them to know this truth now, because there's a choice coming, a moment of decision that would determine the trajectory of both your lives, and they needed to understand what's really at stake. They needed to see you clearly, not through the fog of casual affection, but through the clarity of spiritual recognition. And with those words hanging in the air like stars that had fallen to earth, the woman turned and walked away, leaving them standing there completely altered, their love for you no longer just a feeling, but a knowing, a certainty that resided in the deepest part of their being. After that encounter, after those words had been spoken into existence and absorbed into their consciousness, everything changed in the way they perceive you. It's like when you learn a new word and suddenly you see it everywhere, except this was deeper, more profound, because it wasn't just noticing something external. It was recognizing something that had always been there but remained invisible until the moment they were given eyes to see it. Now, when you enter a room, they don't just see you. They sense you. They feel the subtle shift in energy that your presence creates. They've started paying attention to things they'd previously overlooked, the way other people unconsciously lean toward you when you speak, as if your words carry a gravitational pull. They notice how children and animals are inexplicably drawn to you, how even in crowded spaces, there's often a small circle of calm that surrounds you, as if invisible guardians are maintaining sacred space around your being. The way you move through the world has taken on new significance in their eyes. What they once might have seen as quietness or reservation, they now recognize as depth, as someone who operates on multiple levels simultaneously, navigating both the visible world and invisible currents that most people don't even acknowledge exist. Your kindness, which they always appreciated, now reveals itself as something more than mere politeness or good upbringing. They see it as grace in action, as divine love flowing through human expression, touching everyone fortunate enough to cross your path. Even your struggles and vulnerabilities, the moments when you're tired or overwhelmed or uncertain, these don't diminish you in their eyes anymore. Instead, they see these moments as proof of your humanity, as evidence that even those chosen for higher purposes still walk the difficult terrain of earthly existence, still face the challenges that refine and strengthen and prepare the soul for what it's being called to do. They watch the way you handle difficulty with new appreciation, seeing not just resilience but spiritual fortitude, not just coping but transformation. Your laughter has become sacred music to them because they now understand that joy is one of the highest frequencies, that when you laugh freely, you're literally raising the vibration of everything around you, creating pockets of light in a world that often feels too heavy. They become acutely aware of synchronicities that happen when they're with you, the way meaningful songs play at perfect moments, how conversations with you often contain exactly the insight they needed to hear, even when you had no way of knowing what they were struggling with. They've started to notice that time feels different in your presence, either stretching out luxuriously or compressing into intense moments of connection that feel like they exist outside normal temporal flow. This shift in perception has fundamentally altered their experience of loving you. It's no longer just about wanting to be near you or enjoying your company, though those elements remain. Now there's a sense of reverence mixed with their affection, a recognition that loving you is also serving something larger than just two people's feelings. They find themselves wanting to protect you, but also to support your growth, to celebrate you while also challenging you to step fully into your power. They see now that being in your life isn't just about what they receive from you, but about what they're meant to help you become, and what you're simultaneously helping them transform into. The woman's words have given them a framework for understanding the inexplicable pull they feel toward you, and with that understanding has come a deepening that goes beyond romance, beyond friendship, into territory that feels almost holy. Now comes the part that's perhaps the most tender, the most vulnerable, the most achingly human part of this entire story. After everything they've learned, after the way their perception has been forever altered, after recognizing you as someone marked by divine purpose and celestial guidance, they're carrying a secret that grows heavier and more beautiful with each passing day. They love you more deeply now than they ever have before, possibly more deeply than they've ever loved anyone. And they don't know how to tell you. How do you approach someone and say that a mysterious woman spoke to you about angels and messages and divine purpose, and that conversation made you realize the person you've been casually knowing is actually the person your soul has been searching for? How do you articulate that what you feel isn't just attraction or affection, but recognition? The kind of recognition that happens when something eternal briefly touches a temporal world. So they carry this confession silently, and it shows itself in ways they don't even realize. They've started looking at you differently. Their gaze lingering a half-second longer, their eyes holding questions they don't yet know how to ask. When you speak, they listen with an intensity that goes beyond hearing words. They're listening for the undercurrents, the hidden frequencies, the angelic messages a mysterious woman told them about. They find excuses to be near you, not in a desperate or clingy way, but like a flower turning towards sunlight, a natural, instinctive movement toward what nourishes them at the deepest level. They become more attentive to your needs, anticipating things before you ask, showing up in small but meaningful ways, hoping that their actions can communicate what their words haven't yet found the courage to express. In quiet moments, when they think you're not looking, they watch you with something close to wonder, still trying to reconcile the person they thought they knew with this expanded understanding of who you actually are. They replay the mysterious woman's words constantly, searching for guidance on what they're supposed to do with this information, how they're supposed to proceed now that they've been given this glimpse behind the veil of ordinary reality. Should they tell you what they heard? Should they confess how their feelings have transformed? Or should they wait for a sign, a moment when the universe makes it clear that it's time to speak their truth? The uncertainty is exquisite torture, but it's also sweet, because even in the not knowing, even in the silence of this unspoken confession, there's an intimacy that's developing. Every interaction now carries multiple layers of meaning. Every conversation is both what's being said and what's being carefully not said. Every casual touch, every shared laugh, every moment of eye contact that lasts just a beat too long to be accidental. These are all part of their silent confession. Their wordless way of saying that they see you now, really see you, and what they see has captured their heart completely. They're learning to speak in the language of energy and presence, hoping that somehow, on some level, you can feel what they haven't yet said aloud. And maybe you can. Because haven't you noticed that something feels different between you? Haven't you felt the way the air changes when they're near, the way your own heart responds to their presence with a rhythm that feels both new and ancient? But here's where the story takes a turn, where the narrative reveals that what you've been told so far is only part of a larger picture that's still unfolding. That mysterious woman who appeared and delivered her message about angels and divine purpose and your role in the cosmic order. She wasn't just a random spiritual messenger crossing paths with someone who happens to care about you. There's more to her appearance than has been revealed, and there's more to the message than was initially shared. The person who received this information, they know something else, something they're not sure they should tell you yet, something the woman said right before she left that they've been holding close, turning over and over in their mind like a stone worn smooth by constant touch. You see, the woman mentioned that you have a choice coming, a moment of decision that will arrive when you least expect it, but will recognize immediately once it appears. She said that this choice will look deceptively simple on the surface, like just another ordinary decision among thousands you make every day, but will actually be a fork in the road of your destiny, a point where your path could go in two completely different directions depending on what you choose. And here's the part that's been keeping them awake at night, the part that makes their love for you feel urgent and protective and almost fierce. The woman said that one path leads to everything your soul has been preparing for, to fulfillment of your purpose, to the life where you step fully into your power and allow your light to shine at its brightest, affecting not just your own journey, but touching countless other lives in ways you can't yet imagine. But the other path, while not necessarily wrong or bad, would be a dimming, a settling, a choice made from fear or obligation or conditioning rather than from truth. It would be a life half lived, a light kept under a bushel, a song left partially unsung. The woman didn't tell them when this choice would appear, didn't give them enough information to warn you or prepare you. She just said it was coming and that the person listening needed to be aware of it, needed to be watching, because they might play a role in helping you recognize the moment when it arrives. This knowledge has become a kind of sacred responsibility they carry, and it's part why their love has deepened so dramatically. They're not just falling for who you are now. They're already in love with who you're becoming, with the fuller version of you that exists in potential, waiting to emerge. But here's what you need to understand. Here's why this story doesn't end cleanly with resolution and answers. The mysterious woman. She mentioned one more thing. Something about a connection between the two of you that goes back further than this lifetime. Something about contracts made before birth and souls that agreed to find each other again to complete unfinished business from previous journeys together. She started to explain what that meant, why your souls chose each other, what you're meant to help each other accomplish in this lifetime. But then she stopped mid-sentence, smiled mysteriously, and said that some revelations have to unfold in their own time, that knowing too much too soon would interfere with the natural progression of events that have already been set in motion. And then she simply walked away, leaving behind more questions and answers, leaving this person who loves you standing there with only pieces of a puzzle that won't reveal its complete picture until what? That's the mystery that remains unsolved, the question mark that hangs over everything, the secret that's waiting to be discovered. What comes next? What is this choice you're supposed to make? When will it appear? And what will happen when it does?